Welcome to the Legion Outriders podcast, a member of the Radio Free Tattooing Network.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
Your source for the latest Legion news, opinion, and analysis.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
John Archiquette.
Will somebody get this big walking carpet out of my way?
Matt Turner.
I'm not afraid.
And Joshua Gray.
You will be.
What's going on, Outriders? John, Josh, and Matt back at you again from the Hive of Scum and Villainy.
Yay!
Actually, we're back from the Hive of Scum and Villainy.
We are.
And
yeah.
return to the, what we dub as the Hive of Scum and Villainy.
Or the Scum of Hive and Villainy.
However you want to put it.
Also, what podcast is this?
Legion Outriders?
Legion, yes, we've dropped the X.
Yeah, we're not X anymore.
We're done with that.
I was never a part of that
on.
team meeting. So
it wasn't a team meeting. It was me on a Saturday morning seeing a bunch of tomfoolery on the forums and just seeing an opportunity and doing things on my own initiative, Matt.
And then being stuck because Facebook won't let you change it back for
basically.
at least a week.
But I knew that. I knew that when I did it.
Okay.
Like it said, you Facebook was like, you can't change your name for another 7 days after you do this. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
So it was a calculated risk.
It was.
And boy, are you bad at math.
Yeah.
So now we're the podcast formerly known as Legion Outriders X?
Correct.
Yeah.
Just a symbol.
Yes.
Just the surge symbol.
Right.
It's the mirror episode of Impact or of Outriders.
We're like evil doppelgangers?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay, that works.
Can I be evil Spock?
The edgier. Yes, yeah.
No,
you have to go T4.
I think you just be regular Spock.
But we would have to get a nice person to sit in this chair, right?
Right.
Somebody who's actually not a jerk.
Get LJ back in here.
Yeah, right? Or just Matt, you and Josh can switch places.
Right. Be the Ponfar episode of Josh's Mirror.
Happy Tank Day!
Right? Happy
Tank Day!
Thanksgiving?
X34.
Tank
Blue 42.
Gavwa.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But, well, I like on the box
Happy
that
terrestrial
there's
slipper.
actually a size comparison now. Like when you were growing up and you would read like dinosaur books and they'd be like, here's the size of a dinosaur and here's the size of a person. They've now done this with the tank. Is there one on the speeder box? Did they do a size comparison?
Let's take a look.
They did
not.
not.
They did not.
I think they need to impress upon you.
Are you sure you want to
big...
buy this because this thing's an absolute unit?
Yeah.
It's basically what they're saying.
I think maybe it's for scale so they can show what the cover or line of sight blocking would be.
Maybe.
For a normal size trooper.
Yeah, because that is a big part of it.
That thing is gigantic.
It's girthy.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's a bit husky. What they would,
So yeah, in honor of Tank / Terrestrial Slipper Day, we're going to be talking vehicles. We're going to take a look at the new stats for the vehicles. Obviously, we know what has already been released, but we're going to talk about.
Can I talk about Tauntauns instead?
Is this
no.
is this speeder talk with frickin' Frack now?
Basically,
okay. Frickin' Frack, the galactic Sapper brothers.
Don't listen to my brother. Don't listen to my brother. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're looking at like how to play them, how to play against them, and what impact they might have on the meta. Going
I think
forward.
It'll be Impact X.
Oh, but objectively not as good as Critical X.
It's debatably better. Yes.
We're also going to take a look at some terrain building ideas that we have.
Yeah, this has been a hot button for you for a minute.
So we'll talk about like how to stir up some interest in local terrain building competition. How to maybe diversify the terrain builds you have.
Hold them at blaster point.
That works too.
Okay.
We'll try to come up with some friendlier ways of doing it that are less illegal. And
hold them at vibro
but
knife
not
point.
Completely illegal.
No.
Wait, are we going for legal or just less illegal? What's our threshold here?
Are we hiring Bothan spies to dig up dirt?
Many of them will die.
I mean, it is Las Vegas, so whatever happens, but we do stay in Las Vegas, so
we
it
didn't
will
know
stay in Las Vegas.
your knees didn't bend like that.
Thank you, Watto.
Yeah. No, it was Watto.
Nubian.
And then we're also going to recap the trip to LA that Josh and I made, since I made the Scum.
You went to Scum and Villainy.
We went Scum and Villainy joke earlier. Yeah. We went to the cantina known, or formerly known as
Scum and Villainy Cantina. It was disappointing.
We're not gonna spoil it.
Yeah, come on.
It was hilarity did not ensue.
No. See, that's called a tease, because now everybody's gonna hang around to find out what I'm all torqued off about this week. Right? You're gonna stick around to find out, right?
Or just skipping to the next episode or whatever else.
Fast forward.
To. Yeah.
We're going to dig into some more Q&As. We've been neglecting those for a couple weeks.
Well, it's nice to let them build up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also we're going to talk about how disappointed we are in our hockey team. No, we're not. Just kidding. We're going to let that go.
I doubt that.
No. Well,
I'm doubting that.
Josh is still giving me a death stare.
This microphone's about to record what this show sounds like from the inside of your colon.
Wow.
If we go there.
You can hear what I had for lunch.
Yeah.
All right, so first thing first, we got our tanks and our speeders.
Yay! Tanks and speeders. No Star Wars news?
Oh, do we have Star Wars? I'm
He
sorry.
actually checked before, but there was not really anything.
Okay, no Star Wars
there
news.
was. You can now see aerials of the Galaxy's Edge. Apparently, they've gone up, as reported on Facebook. Other than that, it's a lot of comic book stuff, but most of the big stuff was from Celebration, so nothing real ground shaking.
Yeah.
So, okay, next.
All right, tanks and speeders.
Tanks and speeders.
So, Josh,
Spleemo.
as soon as I walked in here today, Josh already had his tank cracked open. And first impressions, what do you think?
It's big.
Yeah, right.
It's
Gonna
neat
need
too
a bigger
because it
board.
comes with some modeling options. I mean, obviously you've got the two guns on there, but you can do the tank completely buttoned up if you want to. You can do it where the commander, who's also the gunner, oddly enough, is manning the gun like he's shooting it.
Yeah.
Right. Or there's another pose on there where he's just kind of riding out like a boss on the with the tank opened up, but he's just kind of like leaning his arms on the thing like I'm in a tank. Yeah.
Is he flailing his vibro sword around?
He is not.
Like, drive me closer so I can hit it with my sword.
Heretics?
It's not a bane blade.
Okay.
Yeah.
How
So
was that?
huh?
Where'd that come from?
Nothing. It's
Okay.
a 1D4chan thing.
Oh.
John knows what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I think.
I do roughly. Yes.
Yeah. Bro.
The hacker known as Fortune?
Yeah. But it's cool. I mean, it's a
Okay.
great sculpt. I mean, it's a big blocky tank, so there's not exactly
open your box
a lot
now.
of. Okay, go ahead. I know what I'm going to do purple on it though.
Oh, God, it's
what's
upside
going to
down.
be
It's
the
everywhere.
entire thing?
No, that would be gaudy.
So, what is it that makes it a tank? The fact that it's got treads? Because
I don't know
it seems like a tracked truck more than anything. to me.
exactly. It's more an APC than anything else.
Yeah.
It's more like a fighting vehicle.
it's a track
mechanized infantry.
Grounded
But
like a pontoon boat.
Ooh, that's cool. I like pontoon boats.
no, I'm going to do the canisters on the back. That's when I'm going to do the purple. So
Okay.
instead of doing the canisters orange,
No,
just
you
gonna
do the
them
canisters
purple.
on the side so it can actually go amphibious. And you've got a duck. That's what this is.
It's a duck boat.
It's a duck.
with less overturning in storms.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
So looking at it when I was over at playing a game with LJ this weekend, and I was looking at the actual build for it, and he has it so it's magnetized so he can put the boxes on or off.
Okay.
So with the boxes off, it's not line of sight blocking; it's just cover 2. You put the boxes on, and it's tall enough where it's going to be line of sight blocking.
Ew.
So
Well, yeah. Well, and there's a definite tactical advantage. Because I'm looking at it and I'm going, well, this is a tank rolling into a war zone. Of course, the guys aren't going to be sitting out, right?
Sure, yeah.
It's a piece of armor. They don't roll unbuttoned into hazard areas. So I was going to model the tank buttoned up, but you lose a significant amount of line of sight peeking. You
Yeah.
can't get over as much cover with it. So I kind of have to. As a tactical decision for the gameplay,
Magnetize it, play it both ways, see how it does.
no, I was just going to do it with the dude sticking out the top.
Oh,
But,
okay. That's cool.
As you do.
And that's one thing that talking earlier today, about how do you play the tank? Do you use it as a mobile transport device for snowtroopers like some
Right.
people want to do? Do you use it with the hammer pilot and just have it be a range 4
Pillbox.
pillbox?
Yeah.
Which it can do both things well.
Sure.
But I think one thing it loses out compared to the ATST is it does have a lower profile. And ATST, it's very rare that you're ever not going to have line of sight to something.
Sure.
To counter that, it has a lower profile. So
Yes.
it can't be
If you
targeted
can't
as
see
much as
them,
the
they can't
ATST.
see you.
Sure,
kind of thing,
Sure,
right?
but it's not exactly the easiest to hide. It's got that giant side.
Sure, but I mean, you look at a lot of the terrain that we run. People get snipers up high because if you put them down low, they can't be seen. Right? You've got much less line of sight to things.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. So, with an ATST, it kind of sits there and lords over the battlefield, but everybody else can shoot at it.
Sure.
Right? The sides isn't that much of a thing if you can cozy it up to cover and stick it down an alleyway and come at me, bro. Right? And just lock it down.
Sure.
Basically, it's like an FD tower with armor on the front.
But a lot more expensive than an FD tower.
Sure, it's more expensive, but the pain that you can put out at range 4, you can do 3 red, 2 black, 3 white with the RT-97C. So
I have no question about the amount of firepower it can put out.
But being able to use cover effectively, use the low profile so you're not getting shot at everything, literally everything within range 3 or 4, depending on the weapons bands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Keep it low, kind of mosey along down an alley. Do it's good.
Think those tactics would work if spider droids ever come out?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Why
you
wouldn't
hated spider droids.
I do hate spider droids.
Oh, okay. I was
But that's not
poking you, man.
That's not relevant to the question.
I mean, anything I can introduce to spin you up, I guess.
I mean,
Do you really need to do that?
the best line of sight blocking terrain for a spider
that's
droid.
fair. What am I doing?
I mean, for me, the best line of sight blocking terrain for the spider droid would be the
shelf?
trash can that you put it in. But I was trying to actually answer the question instead of just.
Oh, you silly man!
I know, right? Because people come to us for good analysis, Matt.
Since when?
Yeah.
Right.
You guys know any Star Wars jokes?
This show?
Oh, there, yeah. Zing.
So I definitely look at my land speeder, and
over to the land speeder.
While I love the sculpt of
Terrestrial
it,
slipper.
I'm the terrestrial slipper.
X34.
Come on.
I'm definitely losing out on the amount of plastic involved in it because it's a lot smaller.
How much was it?
It's all in your options. I think it's
$50.
Yeah, that's 60.
I don't know, man. I think you got robbed.
I think there's a lot more detail going on. With
It's all
the
about
X34.
the elegance.
Yeah.
Sure.
The curved lines.
Right? The
yeah.
sleek. See, now what I want to do, because we printed up an X34 for terrain.
Yes, you did.
I want to see size-wise how it compares.
I think it's probably pretty
Yeah, it
close.
looks
Pretty
about right.
Oh, I think we lost that one at LVO.
No, we didn't.
No?
On it. Funny enough.
Oh.
So, sidebar, when I was packing to go down to Scum and Villainy,
Yeah.
I found it.
Oh, good.
Because
I'm
you
gonna look at
guys,
this. I'm gonna handle it.
when you guys GTFO'd from LVO
Yes.
with the Board of Terrain
Through the
that we
smoke
brought,
bombs and escaped.
right?
Yeah.
When you guys left, you
dope.
guys forgot those. So LJ gave them to me to take home, and I put them in my bag and promptly forgot about them until last Saturday. So I took them down because you said he
Yeah.
was taking terrain down. So I went down and gave them to him at the tournament, and he brought them back with the terrain box.
Oh,
So
okay.
they're in the terrain box.
So to make a short story long,
Right.
we got them.
exactly.
We got
Yay!
them
Okay.
back.
Do you know how we know that the X34 is produced in Great Britain?
How do we know that?
Because the driver's on the right-hand side.
Oh,
Yeah.
or
That.
could be Japan, or it could
Or
be
Japan. Those are the two
a
options.
number of other countries.
Nope. Japan and Great Britain.
There's a lot more
There's
countries
others.
that drive on the right hand side.
Nope. That's it.
Okay,
Australia?
Matt,
Nope.
You sure?
No.
he's wrong. Australia,
committing,
New Zealand, India, South Africa. There's pretty much any country that was
Nope.
Basically,
Just two.
a colony
every
of
country,
Britain at one time.
yeah, every country, because like in India, I think they drive on the other side also.
I think they just drive down the middle of the street.
Well, I mean, they just drive on the street.
Well, I mean, that's good.
All right, back to the original point.
Yeah.
The land speeder, slick looking model. But the most important thing, of course, are the passengers that come with it.
Yeah.
Spleemo.
Spleemo
Magnet Butt.
You have Spleemo Magnet Butt in your hands.
I was pretty excited yesterday in the Legion
sits for
chat to be
Spleemo.
able to actually explain to someone
What
who
Spleemo?
Spleemo
Who's
was.
Spleemo?
Like,
right?
oh, you don't know Spleemo? Pull up a chair, youngin. Let me spin you a tale.
Let me spin you a ribald tale.
Right?
Of
So,
the greatest hero of the rebellion.
Because he has a magnet in his butt.
Well, he doesn't yet, but he will.
Oh.
Ah.
Oh.
I got the drill all prepped at home. He's getting a magnet in his butt tonight.
Hashtag what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, it comes with Spleemo, with the Twi'lek RPG person, rocket launcher person, and
Oh, I thought she was playing D&D. Thank you for clarifying that.
I mean, she could be. Although I've never played an RPG where I actually had to bring a rocket-propelled grenade.
Right.
You haven't really played an RPG,
right?
my friend.
We'll get some Munchkin stuff going on, yeah.
The new version of Vampire the Masquerade. But no, it's got a lot more pieces than the tank does, but a lot more room for customization. So I'm trying to think of how I want to do it, because I found a pretty cool article about the Toyota wars that were fought between Chad and Libya in the 80s, featuring...
Oh, is that picture you posted up? I saw that. Okay.
And it was a
So you're
picture
going
of full technical with
Yeah.
about 20 Chadian freedom fighters sitting in the back of a
Wow.
pickup. So I'm thinking, like, how many Spleemos can I fit in this thing?
That would be awesome. That would also really, I mean, do you still get cover 2?
Oh, sure.
If you load it up with 50 guys?
Yeah, if you get all the luggage and stuff in there, yeah, you might get cover 3.
Well, no, but it slows it down.
That's
so
true.
that
Oh.
well, you lose
should
the
just-
cover 1.
Model it so it's like at a 45-degree cant at the back,
Right.
you know, just it's
You got to find a way to
got
really,
hydraulics up front or something.
really finely paint Hilux on the engine nacelles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
be
like,
good.
there's so many different ways to model this with it being a convertible and all. Like, I'm thinking, like, okay, you could go that route. You could go like paint it up like a 1980s Firebird.
I
and
love.
then give,
I
like,
saw that idea.
give
Yeah.
Spleemo like a rolled up pack of cigarettes and his white T-shirt, and make it look like they're hanging outside of a high
kinda-
school.
Now, see what you would have to do, because the Firebird thing is a take on the Brad joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you would have to get a license plate that says the Luke on the
Oh,
front.
that'd be
Yeah.
good.
Right.
I just kind of want one of the old like Galgathong Romulan warbirds from like the original series
Yeah,
painted on it.
totally, dude.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
that would be cool.
Yeah. Great.
And then the other option,
Don't fan shame.
I was thinking of was kitting it out like the convertible from Rebecca Black's video for Friday,
Oh God.
and just have like,
Are you gonna play the song every time it moves?
yeah.
Yes.
Thank
Fun,
you.
fun, fun,
Oh, okay,
fun,
stop.
fun.
My brain bleached.
Guess
No.
what? Guess what tomorrow is, Matt? If we get a game in,
Friday. It's Friday.
Saturday's
Gotta
Eve.
get down on Friday.
and I'll put like,
Say hi to Fifth Trooper for us. Mashing that fast forward button.
so a lot of cool customization options. I actually was looking at getting some stencil work in there and doing some stenciling.
that's
front,
cool.
'cause
It's
it
got
is-
some nice big flat surfaces for you
Yeah,
to play
you can,
with.
You can
It does,
explore
yeah.
the artistic space available.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I'm gonna mess around with that a little bit and
Just a couple of pasted Jawas on the fender, you know.
Oh God.
that might work.
Disgusting creatures.
But yeah, looking at the ways to play them, I think this one is a little more customizable, or maybe not more customizable, but I feel like
It's more flexible.
yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like the tank, you kind of have like one of two builds you want to do. You either go the Hammers pilot with just mobile or a pillbox like you're talking about, or you kit it out like with the RMAB.
Yeah.
And
make it movie.
Yeah,
Kind of,
exactly.
yeah.
Run it up your
Yeah.
snowmobile basically.
Sure.
Whereas with this, you can leave it fairly bare bones at 70 points. It's not too expensive. Maybe have some movement shenanigans with
What kind of role would you have it for it at that bare bones?
have it basically be a Chewie transport.
Yeah.
Throw-
Oh yeah, you want to have your Chewie in
Yeah.
there.
Now Luke, you could use it for Luke too. The thing with Luke, and the reason I don't want to run it with Luke
He's already
in there,
so mobile.
he's already mobile. He's got the ability to hide behind terrain fairly easily
And
and
then
stay out of
jump
line of
over
sight,
it.
jump
Yeah.
over it, and also even if he gets shot at, especially if he's got a dodge token, he has the possibility to deflect, and he's throwing a 3-up armor save essentially.
Okay. Talk me through the mechanics on this, because what I was thinking is maybe you have a Jin extraction vehicle. Like she starts
could,
further
sure.
up the board. Do you think there would be worthwhile activations involved in all that?
Well, so I'm assuming if you're doing it as a Jin extraction vehicle, you're using it in conjunction with recover the supplies.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
You're going to want to basically have her act first so she can grab it and move out as soon as possible. I I mean, maybe you'd bring the land speeder in around after that, but then she still wouldn't be able to move into the speeder.
Right.
So essentially, you're going to either have to choose to bring the speeder to her first, or have her grab the box and move first. Either way, you're risking her getting shot at.
Okay.
So it's possible.
Just trying to think of roles for a vehicle to like get short bursts of speed for your special guys.
I think the most obvious thing I think is as a Chewie delivery vehicle.
Yeah.
Just because he has low armor to begin with. So he's you're actually more survivable being shot at in this than you are on your own.
Oh, is it armor 1, 2?
So it's armor 2.
Yeah.
And then if you're taking the outer rim pilot, which I would.
Yes.
why
Yeah,
wouldn't
absolutely.
You're getting cover 2.
Somebody pointed out you get 2 in there. There's 2 outer rim pilots that come in that box.
Yep, and there's 2 Hammers pilots in the
that's
tank
dope.
also.
Yep.
I like
So great thinking FFG because that gives a little bit of lifeblood to the T-47, which desperately needs it. So yeah, like I was saying, I think Chewie delivery is probably the most obvious way to use it for a single delivery. I think Luke is better and more mobile on his own. And yeah, I guess you could use it with Jin, but I feel like if that's your sole reason for taking it, it's an extremely specific situation.
Okay, that's fair.
To take it. So, but I mean, I could play around with it. I haven't thought about that, so there is maybe some play with that.
And you can also use it as you're talking about using it as delivery vehicle.
Yeah.
You can also use it as a relocation vehicle. If with Jin, if you want to area deny a certain area just to begin with, you can put her down there and then watch everybody deploy away, and then scoot the speeder up, hop her on board, and then move her to where you really want her.
Yeah,
I mean,
That could be a fun little last turn, gambit to get into a breakthrough territory or something
like that.
Because you throw a model in that and get it across breakthrough, that's 2 points.
Yeah.
As opposed to just 1. So that's definitely a possibility for it.
And I don't know necessarily. I mean, if you keep it fairly stripped down, if you just put like the rocket launcher on it, just that, it's relatively cheap. How much is it?
By itself, it's 70 points.
Right.
And once you start throwing the rockets on there, when you start kitting it out with stuff, that's when it gets expensive.
starts escalating quickly.
Yeah, so you're basically looking at, I think, 36 points for the... where did I put them? I think it's 36 points for the rocket launcher by itself.
Did you eat the cards again?
I might have eaten the cards. That tends to be what happens with things.
He just chews on them. He's got a oral fixation.
But, I mean, if you could just put one weapon on it, just to give it a little bit of punch, it's not something you can ignore, right?
Yeah.
But
it may not be your highest priority if you
use
can
it
harass.
as a harasser,
Yeah.
So let's see here. So the rifle gunner is 9. Yeah, the rocket's 36.
You have
34.
a really good memory.
Yeah,
But-
well, I was playing around with lists for it today.
Oh, okay.
But I
Fair
mean, 100 points. Even as a flanker and a harasser, it's got more survivability than speeder bikes because 110 if you put the pilot on it.
Yeah.
And
I think you always put the pilot on.
Right.
Yeah.
But even at 110, you've got some armor. You've got a lot of ability to get out of and tank damage. I just think it makes a much better harasser and a flanker that can kind of keep somebody honest.
Yeah.
I want you to model up the outer rim pilot in the X-34.
Honestly, I was going through Skullforge or Shapeways and trying to find like seated Wookiee minis that I could use. I was hoping like they had the Chewie from Solo where he's got the glasses
the Van
on, the
Dor
goggles.
Chew, yeah.
Because I really want to put that
That would
in
be
the
dope.
driver's seat and then just have Chewie in there because I want to make it an angry Wookiee mobile.
I'm sure somebody will put a 3D print file up shortly in some way too.
Hey, somebody
If you have
wants to make one of those.
Or if you
throw a
find
link
a
out there.
friend that has the 3D printer.
I mean,
Well, it's not the printer; it's the
It's
designing
the friend.
model.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
never mind. Sorry, I thought you were going someplace totally different with that, Matt. My
You're
bad.
right. Well, that was my third point, but
but yeah, I'm happy with it. I'm excited to get it all painted up and we'll show it to the
would
world.
you ever run 2?
I honestly kind of thought about that too.
Yeah?
Because there is kind of like the rule of 1 is none and 2 is 1. So to have redundancy. Yeah, but the way I want to kit it out, I think it'd just be too expensive. And
Josh,
Would you run
2
2
tanks?
No.
tanks?
Although, I mean, It's expensive. It's going to be over 300 points. Now I will say this: some folks were theory crafting on the Facebook today, and somebody theory crafted up a list that had 2 tanks and 3 speeder bikes in it.
Ooh.
And it gave me a little bit of a excitement
Yeah.
down in my pants.
Got to rise in your dark side.
Oh, I
huh?
did. Yeah. It ignited my saber. Let me tell you. Woof.
So as far as playing against these models, I think the tank. I've been kind of trying to think of like, all right, so looking ahead to the next rally point qualifier, like these are going to be, they're going to be playable.
Viable, yep.
Yeah.
And what am I going to do if I face somebody who's got a tank? How do I face it? And I think forcing it to make a choice to commit to one side or the other is going to be the way to take care of it.
Sure.
It's got huge weak points. Like those side weak points
So
are about 75% of the base coverage.
Sure.
So they're probably going to be looking to mitigate at least some of the vulnerabilities in that, and they're probably going to be picking a side of the board. So, especially if they're going to have lower activations, you can maybe out-deploy them to give yourself an advantage there.
Yeah, I'm thinking of a situation in which I'm playing a list with a land speeder, and I'm playing against somebody who's got a tank.
Yeah.
And what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to put Luke on one flank. I'll put Chewie in the speeder on the other flank.
Yeah.
And I'll zip around one side, and he's got to commit to one side, and then whatever troops I have marching up the middle with Z6s is going to have an open shot on his flank to either side.
We'll see.
So, I mean, and obviously this is terrain dependent.
Sure.
These are how I'm envisioning scenarios in which I would try to take on the tank. And I think the best way to do it is to just get as many people in his side arc as possible. Because I don't plan on taking a lot of impact.
Right.
Like, I don't feel like I don't think the meta is going to shift that much where I'm going to need to, like, just put tons of ion guys.
Right. And, I mean, even if you get to the sides, you've still got to chew through red defense saves.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a thing, you know. So
Chewie, and part of the reason why I want to put Chewie in land speeder too is I think Chewie is underrated in his ability to take care of vehicles.
Oh, absolutely.
Having 4 dice with impact and pierce.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that's really good. I've seen red dice fail, but I've also seen red dice, specifically if you just got to roll 1 or 2. Yeah, okay, I'll
John,
take it.
John, have you seen that recently?
Seen what?
All the red dice making saves?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, the other thing too, I think also playing against the tank depends on what role my opponent is using it. I think if he's using it in the snowmobile role, I'm probably going to want to kill it.
Yeah.
If it's sit back and shoot with the hammers, I may try to find a way to just get out of line of sight of it and try to ignore it. Because otherwise I'm going to have to commit too much to try to get around it.
Conversely, what are you scared of seeing against your X-34s?
For speeders?
Yeah.
And I think that depends a lot on how it's kitted out. If I feel like it's a lot of points are dumped into it. And
So
it's got
you've got your
weaponry.
Chewie sitting in it, which seems to be your list you're working on.
Okay, so if I'm playing against my own list,
Well, let's say you're playing against an Imperial player, and you've got Chewie in an X-34. What are you worried about over there?
well, I'm worried about him dumping like Death Trooper fire into it.
Okay.
Right? Range 4 Death Troopers.
yeah.
Looking at it sharply,
Anything that has the ability to,
Surge to crit?
Surge to crit is obviously huge because that's going to ignore my cover entirely and ignore the 2 armor that I have. Like massive amounts of fire isn't going to hurt me. It's just stuff that can surge. Anything that can ignore cover, anything that can surge to hit.
Veers, max firepower.
Yeah, Veer's max firepower would definitely do the number on it. I mean, if anything, I think this release is just making Veers even stronger. Mm-hmm. We were worried before talking about how he doesn't compare up to Leia. Mm-hmm. I think
a little bit better now.
I think he may be close to being as good as Leia now, just based on the value added from all these vehicles. But yeah, I think that I think it could shape some of the meta going forward with these vehicles here. I don't foresee it being all of a sudden like vehicle heavy.
Sure, but there you might see more variety and people have more options.
Sure, and I think what was kind of fun with stuff like this is people who run a counter meta list might have a little bit more viability. Yeah, they may not win a tournament, but if somebody who's a skilled player shows up in round 1, they've got somebody with 2 tanks on the table.
Right.
They may not have an answer for that.
Sure.
And
A little armor skew.
yeah. So
I mean, double tanks is going to laugh at triple snipers.
Yeah, exactly, right?
You know, yeah, sure. Hi. Yeah.
Now they may have a hard time with some of the more objective based scenarios. Obviously, if you table somebody, that's one thing. But if you've got
Right.
a scenario where like troopers are only scoring, well then tanks are gonna hurt you.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you can't get on the objective that a tank has got camped and just pouring fire into.
yeah, fair enough.
So can I look forward to an X-34 in our game tomorrow?
Spoiler alert, yes, probably.
Okay. Well, this will be exciting.
I know, right? Now you can go ahead and prepare a list for it.
Yes. Here comes the HH-12s. The rise of the rocket launcher. No.
I mean, you predicted it long ago.
Yeah. Is this a self-fulfillment? I'm going to force it to be a thing? No.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we're going to take a look at terrain and how to jumpstart a terrain building group in your community.
You're listening to the Legion Outriders podcast, a member of the Radio Free Tattooing Network, recorded on location at Power 9 Games. Whether you're looking for the latest releases from Legion, X-Wing, 40K, Magic, or any of our other extensive inventory of board and card games, head to power9games.com and use coupon code OUTRIDER10 to get 10% off your order. Plus, shipping is free on orders over $100. Now, back to the Outriders.
Welcome back, Outriders. Now, before we get into talking about how to build terrain in your community, one thing that we needed to do was give a shout out to our newfound friends over in LA. Josh and I made a trip down to Los Angeles last weekend.
I couldn't be there for it.
Matt was going to be there, but he got the con crud and it got the worst of him.
And it was also my 14th anniversary, and the wife was being a trooper and saying, no, you go ahead. And I was like, well, I'm kind of sick, and I feel like this is a trap, so...
Well, you probably made the right decision then.
Well, I mean, at least the tournament sounded like fun.
Oh no, we had fun. I'm just saying from the the sanctity of your marriage.
Oh yes,
standpoint.
okay. You're supporting my decision, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but I had a great time. I drove down there a little bit early. Josh came down later. But I played in the tournament over at Perky Nerd, which is an awesome store.
Yeah,
it's over in Burbank. And a really cool community there. The store itself it's a little smaller than Power 9. I mean, we're lucky enough to have a very large play area here.
There's more comic book store though.
It is
with a little bit of Legion stuff.
There's
some board games, but I mean, really
one of those combo stores.
Yeah, but really the only tabletop gaming stuff. There was no 40K stuff there. There was no bolt action.
No Magic even.
No Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Legion was really, aside from board games, Legion was the only real other game they had on sale.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, Legion, X-Wing, seemed like they did that too.
Oh, they had some X-Wing there too.
Yeah, Jason was the owner, or the guy who was running it at least, and super friendly, super knowledgeable. They had some local artists come in and demo some stuff there that day. So yeah, just a real neat.
It was very California.
What was he demoing?
They had some Game of Thrones style art. It was like chibi Game of Thrones, I think.
Oh,
was what it was called.
Okay, so it wasn't like Legion related.
No. It was just a local artist. I mean, being in Burbank, they have a lot of animators and stuff that have side projects that they do. And,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, which is awesome. They had a gallery of Captain Marvel artwork on the walls.
Like artwork.
Cool.
Like
Yeah,
you
there
can
was
buy
some,
this
yeah.
artwork. It's like $80.
Yeah, all reasonably priced too. Actually.
Yeah,
That's cool.
But it was a very California kind of thing.
Yeah. So I had a great time. I placed third, I think, out of 8. My only game I lost was to LJ, which
Womp womp.
yeah, I mean, you know what? If I'm going to lose to a guy who made Worlds, I'm not upset about that.
Right? Yeah, that's your barometer, right? Oh, I lost.
You should have won and then just taken his world slot from him. Just pulled it out of his chest.
Oh, this was.
We're playing for pinks.
Yeah, this is.
Playing for.
It's going to be the Highlander,
Right. No, honestly, it's the first time I ever played against LJ. And surprise, surprise, great player.
Yeah, who knew?
He was running a double Death Trooper Veers and Krennic list they call the middle management.
Oh.
So there was some debate as to who came up with that moniker, but it's a good list. He ran it very effectively. Death Troopers can pour out some fire. I mean, they put a lot of firepower out there.
I heard it was basically down to making some BS armor rolls.
Well, not BS.
Nah,
So-
you were very clear to say he was playing a good game, but there were some BS armor rolls.
So it came down to the I don't remember which we were playing. I think we were playing key positions, and essentially the middle objective became the battleground. I had mine, he had his, and
As it happens,
yeah, there was a no man's land in the middle of like no terrain, and
Were you
essentially
defending against the Hun?
Yeah. So basically, yeah, I hid Luke behind a piece of line of sight blocking terrain, within charge range of that objective.
Sure.
Held till about turn 4, and then made my move. And I was just basically hoping to chop up or force push as many of his guys off of that center objective as I could.
Oh, you had force push on him?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And just couldn't quite do enough. The last turn, he had a Death Trooper on there, and then Veers within range of moving to it.
Uh-huh.
And I knew I needed to chop those Death Troopers up. He had, I think, 3 or 4 of them left. And I made enough to kill all but one, because he made all of his saves and Pierce 2 only managed to
This
kill.
blew my mind when you said there was like 4 Death Troopers and Luke was charging. I was like, oh, okay, they're dead. What happened next? And no.
Not when they make their armor saves.
But I was like, but Pierce.
Yeah. No,
But not enough Pierce.
Yeah, I was incredulous for him. So.
Yeah, not quite enough. So didn't work out, but it was a great
models.
game.
My God, man.
What's up?
They're 1 wound models.
Yeah, I know, but they got those space.
Go
Marine
back and do
armor
it
saves.
again. Yeah.
Right?
No, so
fair.
had a great time playing, and then Josh came after the tournament was over.
Yeah, I showed up
And-
middle of last round.
Yeah,
but
late
by
enough
the
where
time
you
we
weren't able to
finally
play.
got there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, hung out a little bit and
Cool.
chatted with some folks and kind
How
of
many people did they have?
I want to say we had 12.
Oh,
on
nice.
that
That's good for
tournament.
now.
Yeah, it was nice. Although we did a poor job of coordinating.
Uh-huh.
Because the genesis of the trip was going to the Scum and Villainy
Yeah,
Cantina.
yeah, the cantina.
Which, for those of you not familiar, it's a bar in Hollywood that is pretty much decorated inside exactly like the Mos Eisley Cantina. So, of course, it's going to be Star Wars regalia on, as far as what we're wearing.
Sure.
And, I'm sitting there. I'm like, what are we going to wear? What should I wear? Should I wear the podcast shirt or should I wear the Barricada shirt? Right? And I'm like,
So both podcast
Barricada
shirts, yeah.
shirt.
Okay.
I show up, I walk in the store, John is at the front table facing the entrance, Barricada shirt. I'm like, this is not going to work for me, John.
We didn't coordinate it.
We did not coordinate, John. This is not going to work for me.
You guys don't like being twinsies?
No, it was kind of awkward, actually.
Were you both wearing the same pair of Daisy Dukes, too?
No, I was wearing jeans. He was showing some leg.
I had short shorts on.
Yeah, your little Euro-style short shorts.
Yeah, in a strangely cold day for Southern California.
Yeah, it was
actually.
like 67 degrees. It was
Wow.
kind of
It
chilly.
was colder than that.
Beautiful.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
Wow.
wow. It's
It can
weird.
stay oddly chilly through the year, especially by Vegas standards.
Yeah. Wasn't expecting that, but
But yeah, so
had a good time. But then,
he bought a new shirt, and yeah.
So LJ won.
LJ won.
No, LJ did not win.
He did not win.
LJ got second. He lost in the final table to David, who was actually at LVO. Good dude. I can't remember his last name. Good dude, though. He was running a triple Imperial Guard list.
What?
Right? Triple Imperial Royal Guard list.
Who were they guarding?
Veers.
Oh, okay.
He had
That's cool.
Veers, yeah, and did pretty well with it. I think he got the right,
How was he using the guards? I'm curious now.
I think, to kill things and
Yeah.
to
Oh,
not die.
okay.
Yeah.
Those two things concurrently.
As infantry.
Yes.
Okay,
the secret is you want to
kill
kill
things and not
also
die.
not die.
Yeah.
Wow.
He also
I'm
did
going to
not,
write this down. Hold on.
He also did not press them
Okay.
into an anti-aircraft role or an anti-ship role.
Ah, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Funny how that works,
You know,
right?
when you combine those, magnificent strategies, you'll win.
Has anybody else caught on to that idea yet?
Shh.
Okay.
Only David knows.
It's a secret.
No.
Did he use
We're
electrostaffs?
hunting Webbles.
I think he had. Electrostaffs. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, wow.
I think he ended up having like battle lines.
Guard her
and
back, baby.
It was I don't know, something that was really advantageous for the exact build that he had, and it played out well. But LJ said it was a good list, and yeah, I didn't get to watch that game.
Might have
but
to see the rest of the list, but cool. Well, congrats on a really good showing there.
yeah, it was fun. But yeah, so the reason we went there, of course, was to go to the Scum and Villainy Cantina,
What was that like?
and
Depressingly.
Awesome?
No.
so
You were sad that you had to leave?
it opens up at 6:00. We show up at like 6:10.
And you made reservations, right?
No, we got there at like
There's
6:30.
Oh, okay.
Because we left dinner
there was a little
at
bit
like
of line.
6:10.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a line to get in there. It didn't take too long, but we get in. We get to like the where the bouncer checks us in, and all of a sudden we hear din 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 din. I'm like, what is
the
this?
whole place was decorated in Game of Thrones.
Game of
stuff.
Thrones.
I was so disappointed.
Wow.
Like, I did not come 250 miles to drink in the Godswood, okay?
And honestly, like we're all Josh and I are Game of Thrones fans. I know, Matt, you like the books.
I mean, I'm a fan of Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
yes.
But we weren't there for Game of Thrones, so it was kind of a letdown. But we had a good time. We ended up getting a little booth that was, fitting for the cantina.
Yeah.
And,
There's a dead Rhodian in the corner.
Yeah. They did have a drink there called the Reek that they put a little Vienna sausage in.
Wow.
Yeah.
So no, we had a good time, and for being decorated like Game of Thrones, it was cool, and they had the banners up, and all the bartenders were dressed as
But
Daenerys.
no
or Jon
jizz
Snow.
whale going on.
There was no jizz whale, unfortunately. No jizz whale, no Finger and Dan.
Oh boy.
And the modal nodes.
Max Rebo.
Max.
No. So we'll have to make another trip
Jedi
down
rocks.
there someday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely when we plan our.
See, that was the karma for you not going.
Yeah, I guess that. Well,
probably was.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I won karma for that. So
Yeah.
yes.
Probably true. Yeah.
But yeah, when we go down for Galaxy's Edge in October, we'll have to plan
Get
that
up.
in there.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
Plus, we got good friends there now and a cool place to play. So
Awesome.
give them a little shout out before we go down, and then we'll. Go
Hey,
visit.
Perky Nerd. So did they sell coffee there?
They do actually. They've got
Cold
a
brew
lot of different kind of coffees there.
That
like
sounds fantastic.
very California, like he was saying. They got all kinds of different cold brews there.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan.
Very cool.
So yeah,
Okay.
good time.
Good. Thanks for the recap, guys. I kind of wish I was there.
You bet. Well, next time we'll make sure
Next
you're there.
time, yes, for sure. Okay, what else were we talking about? Oh,
So,
terrain.
Terrain. So
Train.
I got to give a shout out first to Sean Morris.
What a dude.
He is, good guy,
Hey, Sean.
terrain expert.
Yes.
The guy knows his stuff.
Yes.
I recently became a Patreon on his terrain page. And
A patron of his.
patron on Patreon. Yes.
Yes.
And totally worth it. He put out a Scarif video on how to make the basically the bunker from the battle on Scarif.
Oh, that's cool.
And it starts out with basically just MDF terrain, and I'm like, how does he do this? And by the end of it, it's like Bob Ross. It's like, man,
There it
wizard.
is.
You're a wizard.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really cool. And he's putting out a bunch of different new ones. And the one that got me really hooked on signing up for this was his Genosis table.
Yeah.
So
I saw some renders for that. It
Yeah.
looks pretty sick.
Well, you saw the photos from the FFG Clone Wars promo. That's his stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I was like, oh man, like
Is that what I saw?
yeah, that's
Thank
what you saw.
Okay, thank you.
So I think FFG worked out a deal with him or something where they're commissioning him to do terrain for them for some of this stuff, and it
Good.
looks phenomenal. So he's putting out a tutorial that I'm anxiously waiting for to see how he builds that stuff. But it kind of inspired me to come up with, all right, how do we diversify what we have here?
Yeah.
Because we've got the Tatooine stuff that I did like a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
and we've got that awesome Jedha terrain that was generously donated here.
Yes.
that I painted up. But I want more.
Yeah, for sure.
We've had more turnout for our tournaments,
And especially it would be great. I was thinking with the new Clone Wars stuff now, maybe having
Yeah.
some tables that look appropriate for Clone Wars.
Yeah, so I put a poll out in our local community. I'm like, hey, what table do you want to see next? Because I'm going to make one, and what are people thinking?
Mm-hmm.
And I threw out just a few options. I threw out Genosis, and I threw out
Forest Moon, I think, was
Vendor.
big. Yeah,
Yeah, I think Force Moon's a little
Bespin would be
overdone.
sweet.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of like boilerplate. I guess that's
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
word that I'm
you're right.
thinking of. It's like
Sure.
let's do
Nothing
something
wrong
a
with it.
little. I liked Felucia. I liked the Felucia idea. Just so every time I pack up my minis, I can say bye Felucia. But
Say.
But honestly, there's a lot of cool ideas out there, and more obscure planets from I'm not nearly as well versed in the EU as you guys are. So you start throwing out some of these other planets that weren't
right.
shown for more than 30 seconds. And
Well, if you'd have read the books and played the games, John.
Yeah.
exactly,
It'd be kind of
yeah.
cool to do a Black Spire Outpost because that keeps cropping up more on. Well, that's the Galaxy's Edge world that it's set
Okay.
around, and it's been in a couple of the books now.
Okay.
But maybe we could pull up. Well, we're going to have Disney shots to
Sure.
use for reference here soon. So
I think you should do Planet Agent Callus.
Oh God,
That's what you should do.
I'll pass. I'll leave that to you.
Damn it.
But yeah, one of the
But I
reasons-
have no talent.
wouldn't it just be Hoth? Are we
Basically,
talking about when
yeah.
he was like facing down with Zeb?
With
Whoa,
Zeb.
spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Oh crap! That's
Oh,
right.
Oh no,
no.
I did see that one.
You did see
I
that
did
one.
see that
Okay.
one.
The
sorry.
Enemy Mine episode,
Yeah, yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
But no, one of the things with doing the poll, like, people were coming out with all these suggestions. I'm like, hey, what if we did like a tournament, like a competition to see who could come up with, the best terrain setup.
And you were keeping it pretty modest. You were like asking for 3x3s that could be combined with other pieces.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the best way to do it. Even though 6x3 is obviously how you want to play the game. I think for the purpose of not overwhelming people, there's definitely
wanna
some
do
cost
Dagobah.
that goes into it.
That would be cool.
Dagobah would be really cool.
Yeah.
So I know one of the new videos that Sean Morris is coming out with is how to make more interesting base terrain. So instead of just having a piece of area terrain that's just a MDF
So like
board.
the Crash ATST type thing?
Yeah, sure,
Okay.
exactly. But something that you can use with a little bit more detritus or different plants and stuff on there, to kind of just make it look like it's not just a kidney-shaped piece of cardboard.
A round hill that
Right.
could be found
with a
on-
couple of
yeah.
trees you got from Michaels or Joanne Fabrics. For,
Exactly.
A train set
Yep.
posted
Those are
on
the
it.
worst.
I know, right?
But actually, he takes a few of those palm trees that look
Oh, yeah?
exactly like those, and he
Oh,
paint-
well, yeah, if you
paints
plus them up
and-
a little
Sure.
bit.
Yeah.
Sure.
So there are ways to do that to make those
gussy 'em up.
pieces of aquarium terrain
Yeah.
that you just pick up, and you can make those look like some really awesome pieces of terrain. So I think that's one area where you can really let your creativity go in this. And
Nice.
I'm looking forward to it. And I'm excited to see what some of the people in our community can come up with.
Yeah. Or have we set a start date for that?
We haven't yet. Actually, I was going to talk to you and Jared about that this
Okay,
weekend.
cool.
And
So what's your plan? I mean, you're having people do 3x3s. What's your plan to make sure it's unified with another 3x3 board?
Well, I think it would just have to be finding a map that it works on, and then if say I did the Genosis and somebody else has, I don't know, some trees or something from Endor, you could probably combine those.
Blend the two?
Yeah.
We'll encourage people if they want to do 6x3s, but
That would
3x3
be-
is the minimum.
I mean, if you
entrance.
played the Old Republic, the planet of Corellia in the game had kind of like those Genosian structures, like the ant mound looking things.
On
But then
Corellia?
also was it Corellia?
No.
Probably is more of an urban planet, isn't it?
Yeah,
Well-
especially since the Solo movie.
Yeah,
It's
Hold on,
all
let me look it
industrial.
up. Go ahead. And,
But there are ways
But I mean,
to-
there's so you can marry it up. So you can have like the Geonosan thing, and then have like a military base outpost or something, and they
Sure.
will, one half, kind of discrete size of the board, but they work together because
and we have enough generic terrain,
yeah,
I feel like,
to fill it out.
Sure, like just crash vehicles and boxes and the primary object or the primary supplies terrain. We have enough of that stuff that we can
And all the barricadas.
all of barricades. So yeah, there's ways to still make that.
I'm excited.
That 3x3
This is something
terrain
I've
stretch.
wanted to do, and just I had a couple of false starts on it, but I need to borrow your printer, Josh. I guess is what I'm saying.
it's broken.
I need a Yoda hut. Why'd you break it?
Sorry,
You specifically broke it.
I did.
just for this purpose.
right.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what everyone else comes up with, and folks out there, if you guys want to start your own little competition like this, it's a great way, I think, to put more terrain into your community, into your friendly local gaming store.
Yeah.
You guys are nice enough that you're going to be pitching in a little bit to the winner.
Oh yeah. We're just it's a good investment basically because we're getting quality terrain for a gift card.
Yeah, and
type
it's community building.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
win-win for everybody.
Hopefully, when people build their own terrain, they'll treat it nicer when they put it on the shelves.
Right.
So that's actually probably something that's going to have to come into play with building this. Is going to be durability, making
right.
sure we.
Yes, yeah. That's why we don't do a lot of the MDF stuff
Yeah.
because it can just get destroyed.
All right, so going into our questions and answers, we've kind of
think it was
neglected
Alderaan.
this.
Alderaan.
If you remember the levels on Alderaan during the Old Republic, the MMO.
Yes, yeah, it was all.
Yeah, they had. But
like
when you went out into the
mountain
wilderness, it had
outposts
like.
and
But when you went out in they had some like ant people or something.
yes, they did.
Remember? And they had the
I
the
forgot about
spires.
that.
I remember
So
that.
you could do an Alderaan board.
Man, you're right. I forgot about that.
See, look at that.
Interesting.
Look at the big brain on bread.
I know, right?
Yeah.
All right, so questions and answers. We got a lot of
Some
good,
Q&As.
Got some good questions from our Patreon listeners, and
Taking Q's, kicking A's,
I feel like we need to touch on some of
as
those.
they say.
So you wanna read those off, or you want me to get it?
Sure, I got you.
Okay.
So we did that one. Let's see. Who is what member of the Ghostbusters?
Are we picking our own, or are we assigning?
I don't know. I think the two, like Matt and I will.
Are we going to fight over who's Bill Murray?
No.
Who would be Bill Murray of the group?
I don't know. I don't think we have a Bill Murray. He's just
None of us are funny enough.
no charismatic enough, carefree.
Matt's the
Just
Dan
awesome.
Aykroyd because he's the hopeless optimist.
I'll take that.
I could see
Good
that,
old Mr.
yeah.
Stay Puft. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
I thought of the most harmless thing I could think of.
But I see. I kind of see a little bit more Egon though, because Egon's more of like the.
I was thinking that was my first one.
Yeah.
Is
He's like-
I'm Egon.
Ray, Egon.
I am the killjoy. No, you suck. This is all gonna suck. We're all gonna die. That's me.
He did ask me for a sample of my brain tissue also.
That too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah. Maybe you would be the Egon.
Yeah.
I don't. Am I?
That makes
would
you
be-
the Winston.
Yeah, I think you're the Winston. You're the outsider that came
I'm
into
cool
this
with that.
hobby.
Winston's the man.
Dude, Winston's awesome.
All right. I'm fine.
The outsider that kind of walked
You might
into
be the
this
Lewis.
nerddom, yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Is that Rick Moranis' character?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm the Slimer. Let's be real.
Yeah,
I'm the Slimer.
Sure.
Could you be Sigourney Weaver?
I mean,
I'm probably the
I
guy
would.
from the EPA.
It is
We're gonna
true.
be no, that part's not true, but yeah.
I'm Zool.
All right.
Okay, I got a question to follow
okay,
up to this.
sure.
Are you a god?
If somebody asks you if you're a god, you
say
yes.
Okay, I think we're done. Great
All right.
question.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I like that.
All right. So if you had to put together an all-time hockey team, so we're probably sitting Matt out on this one.
Ooh.
Wait, Matt knows a couple now.
Just one line and a goalie. Who would you pick?
Actually, I do kind of want to hear who Matt puts on his line.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go.
I'm going to put Wayne Gretzky in there. Number
Okay.
one.
So
There
there's
you
your
go.
center.
Yeah.
Number two is Jesus on goalie, because Jesus saves.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
and,
mean,
Yeah, but
that's-
Gretzky scores on the rebound,
Yeah.
so that's an own goal. Then is that how that works?
I'm going to go with Petrevsky, because I feel bad for what happened to him.
okay. Yeah, Petrovsky. Definitely.
Yeah.
That's a guy.
Sure.
And,
That's a person.
give me some Finnish names for NPCs again.
Side story. We came to the realization that we were playing the Star Wars RPG. And
Yeah.
Matt's like, I need some names for. I'm like, you know what? Finnish hockey players are great
Star Wars names,
NPCs.
Timo Teravainen. Oh boy.
Timu Solani, Tuukka Rask.
Yeah.
I mean,
Pekarine
So all those guys.
from Alderaan.
yeah.
No. Yeah. It's good. It's good.
That's good. All right, who do you got, Josh?
All right. So I mean, if we gotta go, geez, this is hard. This is very hard. I think you go Ray Bork on D.
Okay.
You know, and then you need a bruiser. You gotta
Yeah.
you gotta have an offensive guy. I could probably go Paul Coffey too as my offensive defenseman.
Okay.
Chris Pronger as your
See, I was thinking
your,
that.
your guy who's just the unit, just the guy that's just going to clear guys the F out.
I'm going Marty McSorley on that.
Is this okay? Now is this Marty McSorley the player or Marty McSorley I smash a guy on the back of the head with my stick?
Marty McSorley, both.
Both?
Both of those, yes.
Okay.
But I mean,
He's got the total package.
realistically, because I'm putting Steve Yzerman.
Sure. Yeah, and he's my center
Yeah.
also.
Are you building an Orc Blood Bowl team? Is that what's going on? You're just
No.
smashing people?
That's how it works.
Hasek's my goalie. Like,
That's actually who I was going to pick too.
You've got to go
Yep.
with Dominic Hasek.
Especially with it being the 25th anniversary of his 70
Of the
save
70
performance.
save, yeah.
Brendan
It's-
Shanahan's my
it's-
left wing.
Are you just doing all Red Wings?
No,
Is that what
but-
you're going to do?
Although you're a Red Wings fan, though.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I was, other than the Sharks being my team in the 90s, I did like the Red Wings. So.
Yeah.
I didn't put Fedorov on there, though.
Yeah. I mean, if we're going as a 5-man unit from one team, like, you can't get better than the Russian 5.
Oh, God, yeah.
You know?
Oh, I want the Mighty Ducks.
I think Matt wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gordon Bombay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want Emilio Estevez in there. And,
Charlie Conway at center.
yeah.
No, you put Adam Banks' line in there. I feel like Adam Banks, when he didn't have his broken wrist, was probably stronger. Julie the Cat Gaffney at goalie.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
my,
sure.
my front line,
because those reflexes.
my starting forwards,
Yep.
Hansen. Done. Done.
I mean, that takes
Dylon,
care of the
That's it.
enforcer.
Dylon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's pretty good. Next question. What we got?
Let's see. Next question here. I got to scroll down because it turned into a bunch of hockey stuff. Somebody says they're looking forward to the Legion Outriders hockey spin-off podcast.
Oh,
I mean, we could do one.
We could do that. We probably could.
Matt, you can talk about Petrovsky.
yeah, I'll do an essay each week on a different character. and
Is
that'll
he
be my
a mononym
contribution.
like a Brazilian soccer player? Just Petrovsky?
I think so now, yeah, because I don't know his other names. I just know he's from my wife's hometown. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, how did you choose
Whatever.
the audio clip that goes in front of your name or after your name in the intro?
Because he knew
And
I
this
was
is
afraid.
John. This is
and-
a question
yeah.
just for John.
Just for John.
Because none of us picked anything.
I chose them in the same way that we chose the Legion Outriders X podcast name. I made an executive decision to go with it.
right?
You exercise your
Exactly.
power.
I did. I'm like, I'm editing. I'm just going to go ahead and pick these that fit.
What is the ultimate breakfast item?
A bacon. Just
Okay. Just bacon.
All of the bacon.
And that's the great thing about living in Vegas, because I can go to a casino which has a buffet and just get a pound and a half of bacon and just shovel it.
I just feel gross for you.
In the great words of Ron Swanson,
That's what it takes.
yeah.
in the great words of Ron Swanson, I feel like you heard me say I want some bacon.
Yeah.
And I want all of the
All
bacon,
the
that
bacon
you
and
have.
eggs.
I call
Yeah.
it turf and turf.
Yeah.
It's a 50-pound porterhouse and a T-bone steak because I'm a real American and I will consume all of this.
Yeah.
Basically.
What about you, Matt?
Eggs, man, they're just so versatile. You can do everything.
I suppose. But bacon, you don't need to do more than just be bacon.
Yeah, okay.
Eggs,
Although I do love like rashers of bacon. That is fantastic. A little bit meatier on the bacon side of things.
Okay. I like thick cut applewood smoked bacon.
What 3-bar trivia topics are your best?
Ooh. Well, not Star Wars. I know that.
Right?
So Star Wars, that'd be one. 90s video games.
Okay. Very niche, but all right.
Yeah,
Sure.
no, I mean,
What's your third?
and what you had for lunch yesterday.
What do you got?
Never mind.
I'm current events because I am just a voracious consumer of news and
You're a Reddit troll. Just
Reddit
say what it is.
and all of that. Yeah. So memes,
yeah.
anything that devolves into memes or pop culture or anything like
Yeah,
that.
movie
is-
trivia, I think I'd be pretty good at.
I'm okay at movie trivia. I suck at music. Despite the fact that I
I think
spent
I'd be
years
pretty
as a
good at music,
DJ
yeah.
on the radio, I'm not just.
2 is years.
No, it was much more than that.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm pretty okay at sports.
Okay. Yeah.
And then anything nerd related. I mean, that's
Sure.
more than it's more than 3. But yeah,
For me, sports, history, and
French
music.
literature of the 1600s.
I mean, you want to talk Voltaire? We'll talk Voltaire. Actually, it's 1700s, but
Okay, you win.
no. I mean, history, sports, and excuse me. And what was the other one we were just talking about? Music. Oh, music for sure.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, you'd kill me in music. but-
I'm pretty good with that. I'll pull
yeah.
out some.
I can do a
random
lot
obscure...
of like pop name your tunes like really well, but I don't. I'd maybe fall down on the history of the artists and their catalogs and things like that.
Actually, well, my weak point is like current music. If you were to throw on like a modern like pop top 50 or top 40 station,
That's a good point.
And like,
Yeah,
what
let me-
mumble rapper is this? And I'd be like, Little Nas X. I don't know. I didn't make that up. That's the guy who does the
Lil.
Old Town Road song.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
something with a Lil.
Lil, yeah.
Lil, not little. Lil, and then
Lil
Lil-
Sleepy.
Lil-
Lil
Lil
Doc.
Tomlin?
Lil Dopey.
right.
I don't know. Does that wrap up our Q&As?
Yeah, for now.
Okay, cool.
We got
somebody wanted to know when we're finishing Imperial March Madness.
Yeah.
Yeah,
next
about that.
year's March Madness.
Yeah, so yeah, this is Chewbacca.
That was some
And,
door to.
Yeah.
All right, Patreon. We got some new
Patreon!
Yay!
Yay! So thank you for everybody that continues to support us and has recently supported us, including such fantastic people as Richard College, which I don't remember if we shouted out last week, but just in case, here we do.
You might get a double shout out.
Mike Cruz, that's value right there.
Yeah.
And then Joshua Shoebridge, who both Mike Cruz and Joshua Shoebridge are coming in at the Imperial Outrider level. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
I think Josh. Oh yeah, Shoebridge the Great just joined our Discord.
Yes,
So,
good. Yeah, he messaged saying he of
said
course
thanks.
couldn't get into the
Because
Discord.
I welcomed him and he said, "Hey, great name." So you said Josh, and there you go.
There it is.
Yay!
But, otherwise, we're going to have a planning meeting here soon, so we're going to probably get the Barricada shirts spun up here. We still have Legion Outrider shirts on power9games.com. There's a little Outrider Central section on the front page, and it's got one shirt in it right now.
And I believe we've been in talks with an artist for Spleemo shirts.
No,
we're-
really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited
We're
for
trying
this.
to get that worked out, but that's something to be previewed later.
Yeah.
Whoa.
But we're talking about
I
rolling
feel
out some new
teased.
shirts.
This is news.
And see, and we're trying to figure out when we want to release these, because obviously Spleemo's topical now,
right.
Mm-hmm. But the way we're doing it up is it's kind of like a political campaign shirt. So do we keep our powder dry a little bit until at least people start voting in
How
primaries?
about we just
or
reprint
something?
it there? Yeah.
Well, yeah, we could do that too.
All right, guys. Well, I think that pretty much wraps it up for this week, huh?
Yeah, I think we talked about everything we care to talk about.
Do we
And
have
even
any-
some stuff we didn't.
What's
do we
that?
have any- do we do any-
Oh, we had the winners, of
Yeah, I was
course,
gonna say,
for
we have-
Patreon.
we
It
have
is the
drawing.
last
Yep.
weekend of the month, so we did have our drawing. So
Our drawing?
the drawings.
Drawings.
So
Thank you, Simon.
this first one's controversial
Uh-oh.
because he technically won a different category before.
I'm not painting anything for Osama bin Laden.
He is dead, so that's nice. But the $25 gift card goes to Nick Freeman.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
He doesn't need anything else.
Exactly, I know, but
He'll just donate
he
it to
won
me. It's
the
okay.
painted model last time, and he graciously passed it to somebody else. So I feel like he can at least win this
True, yeah, because he gave it to LJ.
begrudgingly. But anyways, and then for the painted fig is Tim Miller. So congratulations, Tim. We'll
Awesome.
be contacting you guys on Patreon here soon to set that up.
Congrats, Tim.
But yeah, again, thank you very much to everybody who supports us.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you all next week.
You've been listening to the Legion Outriders podcast, a member of the Radio Free Tatooine Network.
Only now, at the end, do you understand?
For more from the Outriders, make sure you like us on Twitter at Legion Outriders, subscribe to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Legion Outriders, and make sure you like and subscribe to the podcast. Thanks for listening.
You're all clear, kid. Now let's blow this thing and go.